Cultural Plunge, Autism and Other Developmental Disorders. High school. For some, high school brings up memories of football games, cheerleading, band, and drill team performances. Others remember their time on the stage, in musicals, choir, and orchestra performances. And still for some, high school is simply a time they would like to forget. For students with learning differences, such as autism and other developmental disorders, high school brings on a whole nother set of challenges. For my cultural plunge, I chose to visit a life skills class focused on helping students with autism and other developmental disabilities. I chose to study this cultural group because I have had very little experience educating students that have autism and other developmental disorders. I recognize that in the future I will most likely have these unique students in my classroom and will need to know more about them. Autism is a mental disorder marked by impaired ability to communicate and form social relationships. Autism is a spectrum disorder, meaning that people who are diagnosed with autism are affected by the disorder in many different ways. Asperger's falls under the autism spectrum, and research on this syndrome is still relatively new. For my cultural experience, I met the life skills class in the school cafeteria where they were having lunch. When I first walked in, I was warmly greeted by the students. However, I noticed that some of the students were not as eager to speak with me as others, and seemed shy when directly spoken to. During lunch, the life skills teachers remain in the cafeteria while the students are eating. However, the students are encouraged to sit with their regular education friends. I was surprised to learn that so many of the students have friends in regular education classes, since the majority of their time is spent in the life skills class. After the cafeteria cleared out, the life skills students all walked back to their classroom together and participated in a quiet time, which consisted of reading a book or drawing. Quiet times, such as this one, are helpful for students who have autism and other developmental disorders because they help them refocus on classroom activities after leaving a high-energy environment such as the cafeteria. During the quiet time, I noticed that a girl in a camo jacket was filling out an application for drill team. She told me that she was hoping to participate in drill team, although several modifications would need to be made for her to fully participate in the program. This showed me that students with autism and other developmental disorders are average kids who just want to be accepted and enjoy high school like everybody else. After their quiet time, the students took a quiz over the states and the capitals. During the quiz, one of the students in particular became very frustrated because he couldn't find the answers to the problem he was looking at. In frustration, the student laid his head down on his quiz and refused to sit up and complete it. It broke my heart to watch the student struggle in this way. However, during my research, I learned that although autistic students often have trouble learning certain types of information, they tend to be gifted at learning other types of information. Students usually process information auditorily, visually, and numerically. Being gifted in one area of learning allows autistic children to really excel at one thing, such as music or memorizing statistics. Teachers should not view these learning differences as hindrances to students, but rather unique opportunities for students to grow and excel their abilities. While autism and other learning differences bring on a new set of challenges for students, individuals with autism are still capable of leading happy, purposeful lives. Prior to this cultural plunge experience, I assumed that individuals with autism were destined to live lives dependent on others. However, I have realized that I was wrong. These individuals are not only capable of being productive members of society, but also people of value to society. It is up to teachers to foster their gifts and help them make their future possible.